We're going to continue with the story we've just touched on just a little bit there with Mark. It's around the Competition Commission and Pick and Pay, right? So the Competition Commission has signed what is a consent agreement with Pick and Pay to stop exclusive leases, particularly in shopping areas. Now, the agreement has been referred to the Competition Tribunal, as is customary in a case like this. It is going for confirmation. The Pick and Pay agreement follows the confirmation of a consent agreement with Shoprite Checkers to end exclusive leases. That also happened last week. Now, in line with this agreement, Pick and Pay has agreed to waive exclusivity against small and independent grocery retailers with immediate effect, phase out exclusivity against other supermarket chains over 6 years, now ending 31 December 2026, and not sign any new lease agreements that contain exclusivity clauses. Now, in its final report, the Commission found that long-term exclusive lease agreements are widely prevalent in the grocery retail sector and that they limit consumer choice and reduce competition within shopping centres. The Commission also finding that such agreements prevent the participation of SMEs and historically disadvantaged persons in the grocery retail sector. Well, surprisingly, it actually comes at the same time as Pick and Pay releasing their financial results as well then for the interim period. Things were very difficult, having seen the likes of tobacco and liquor sales going down. That fell off nearly 48% then in the interim period, which ended on August 2020 then. So how about we chat about all of these and just how much impact COVID-19 has had on the business. David North is the Group Executive then for Strategy and Corporate Affairs at Pick and Pay, and he joins us now via video link. David, thank you so much for the time. Appreciated then this afternoon. A whole lot actually happening all in one day for yourselves, but let's kick things off with the financial results then. COVID-19, a massive impact, even though you were still able to weather the storm quite a bit.
Yeah, good afternoon, Arabile. Thank you for inviting me. As you say, it's been an extraordinary 6 months with the impact of COVID-19 and then the measures that the government took in order to mitigate the impact of the virus, which obviously us in concert with many other people were not allowed to sell some of our products. You mentioned liquor, tobacco. For a while, general merchandise, clothing we couldn't sell. Notwithstanding that, as your previous guest was saying, we grew our core food and grocery sales very well, 9.9% within the country. And I think all things notwithstanding, looking through COVID, we've had a very good 6 months. We're pleased with it.
It's very difficult to recover though, right? In the sense that you can't get back anything you've lost now. It's just about trying to look forward and try to make the most of the situation as it currently stands. How do you do that then, considering that consumers are still hard pressed? And you still have an economy that is going to need you to, limit your price increases as much as possible.
Well, we've kept our prices below CPI food inflation, so we're pleased about that because customers have been, as you were saying earlier, customers have been really struggling over the last 6-7 months. So and beyond and before that as well. So we've by getting more efficient in the way that we do things, whether that's in our supply chain or in our stores, in our operating costs, in our employee costs, then we can put that to one side and give it back to the customer in lower prices. Now, as you've also said, it is important to look forward. You can't get back what you lost as a result of the trading restrictions and COVID. And we've been working very hard on a Project Future, which is about making our business leaner, making it more forward-looking in the way that we do things. And I think you were talking earlier about our purchase of the bottles business, so that we're on the road to creating a really seamless offer for customers, whether that's online, click and collect, on demand or whatever. So there's plenty to be optimistic about in the future. Are
you able to share how much that bottles acquisition will cost and how much you're expecting it to sort of, better your business by, if there's any sort of figure to that?
I can't give that number, I'm afraid, but in terms of how we look at it, that we've been partnering with Bottles. So they had a partnership with us before COVID, which was about on-demand liquor for customers. When the prohibition on the sale of liquor came in, we together with them repurposed the business and the offer to do on-demand groceries. We've seen the demand for online groceries and on demand increased several folds during the lockdown. Some of that has diminished as the lockdown has diminished, but still very much we see that as part of the future. And what we will be able to provide through them is a seamless offer, whether it is online, on demand, or click and collect.
No doubt it will bear well for your business in the future, but do you think you're a little late to the market on that online space? I mean, you have had online for some time. I'm just talking predominantly, the way bottles, for example, will work. Is that perhaps a little bit of a late entry in that respect?
No, I'm glad you've asked it because actually we've had Sub-Saharan Africa's largest and best regarded online business for a number of years now. The bottles acquisition simply makes that bigger and better. So we're very pleased about it, and we think customers will be too.
Yeah. All right, David. Let's talk about the exclusivity leases and how that will impact the business. Is that a negative for you, and how big a negative is it?
We don't see it as a negative, to be honest, Arabile. The exclusivity has been a diminishing part of the retail landscape for a number of years now. Most new leases that are signed don't have exclusivity provisions. So this has really been a debate about existing leases, which over time, end up lapsing in any event. What we were arguing with the Competition Commission was that we didn't agree with the Commission that this inhibited competition, because competition takes place outside shopping centres as well as within shopping centres. The Commission had a very firm view on this, and what we decided in the end was that there are many more important things, whether that is in terms of our business development, serving customers, or indeed the point that you were making earlier about helping smaller suppliers and suppliers or retailers from a historically disadvantaged background. And so we felt the right thing to do was to reach an agreement with the Competition Commission and move on, to be honest. Now, one point I would make is that in respect of small and independent retailers, actually for a number of years now, we've said we would never enforce an exclusivity against them. So we're simply confirming what has been our practice for quite a while now.
David North, appreciate the time. Thank you so much for it. Hope to chat to you at the year end then, and perhaps get an even clearer picture of how the 12 months has fared as well then for you. The Group Executive for Strategy and Corporate Affairs at Pick n Pay, David North, there joining us via video link.